Welcome to the Genesis Mindset. It's a good day to be in Pulse Chain. It's a good day to be a part of the Atropa ecosystem. BFF has broken the 8K mark. So we've finally smashed the 8K mark. We're now sitting in the 9K region. pDAI is almost, DAI Stablecoin is almost 1 cent. It's absolutely flying. The whole system is churning along. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to show the BFF. We're going to show the liquidity setups. We're going to show what Maria's plans are, what it means for burnt liquidity, and why 8K as a price floor is really just a price floor. Like, this is actually a reality. This is not just something that we're talking about. This can actually happen. So let's go through that. I'm going to show you a few things on the Block Explorer, a couple of new websites, a few little tools. So let's get into it. So first of all, let's start with pDAI, the big daddy. Look at this. Look at this. We're almost at all-time highs. We're getting close to the all-time highs. The all-time highs was in the 0.9 in the 0.09 cent region, or really 0.009 cent region, so almost 1 cent. So 0.09 cents, so almost 1 cent. So we're almost at the 1 cent mark. This is where the kings, the crypto kings, are going to be giving away 150 million Pulse chains. So hopefully you guys have followed the rules on that for your chance to win. Now, what a system. So this is to the US dollar. Look at this, man. Like, how it feels so good. It feels so good when we're just churning along. We've had our bear markets. We've had 2 bear markets within the Atropa ecosystem. Now we're back in the bull market. So I think this is where I called the last bear market. So I was a few weeks early, or the end of the last bear market. I was a few weeks early. This candle wick. I got close. There was a fat wick. So I got pretty close. Yeah. But in any case, this is to the US dollar, just so we can see the price is almost at the 1 cent mark. But man, the liquidity bonding. Now we're going to go to Pulse Chain. You can't get any better than this. I'll show you this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm literally going to copy and paste this fat trend line. It's like identical. They're twins. Absolute, there's a slight difference, but man, come on. There's nothing like it in all of cryptocurrency. So now let's have a look. Teddy bear. Teddy bear's flying. Teddy bear's pumping. Everything. Just what's not pumping? Teddy bear's pumped from a few weeks, November. So you've almost had a 2x since November. One of my boys did a rotation for his sister from Shiba Inu, took some profits and into teddy bear. So got in it. Just got in at the start of this week for this massive fat pump. So good on him. So man, we still haven't broken all-time highs, but everything's looking so healthy. Look how healthy this is looking. So this is now Heiken-Ashi candles. This is the regular candles. So again, to Pulse Chain, we've almost broken the all-time high against Pulse Chain. I think maybe even here, if we look really close, we might have wicked above it. Not quite. So we've almost broken the all-time highs. I think Atropa to Pulse Chain, it's almost, Atropa to Pulse Chain is basically, Atropa to Pulse Chain has broken its all-time highs. You can see the top of the wick here. It's actually, if we really want to really double check, we can actually. What we can do here, is this. So now if you hold control and you press the button, it'll see how it's like locking to these different points. So the wick, the bodies, the bottom of the top of the wick. Yeah, here we go. So, if we do a super zoom in, we have broken all-time highs to Pulse Chain. So, yeah, look, people who are steadfast in holding Pulse Chain, power to them. Well done for holding the line on Pulse Chain. But man, yeah, there's so many opportunities. There's really there's a lot of opportunities. So, okay, so Teddy Bear's looking good. Now the big story, BFF, that the light. So this fabled. So now I'm on the weekly candles because we've got more data now, so we can go to the weekly. This is what all the top dogs do. So I'm just going to start to follow the top dogs. All of them, without exception, almost are all on weekly. Crypto Kings use weekly, Somi uses weekly, but then also big dogs that I follow outside of crypto and even within crypto, like big traders, they all use. They don't get attached to the 1 hour and the 4 hour and what's happening every single day, even the daily. Even the daily, there's a lot of spazzing out on the daily. So as you can see, BFF has really been fighting for this 8K mark. And now this is really just like, for me, it's like we're really in this new epoch for the Atropa ecosystem because we've exited that bear market. Everything is pumping. pDAI is pumping. So even before we get into that, actually, how much liquidity is actually flowing into the Atropa ecosystem? Probably not a lot. But if you're a holder and you bought early, you're well and truly up. A lot of the liquidity is flowing through pDAI, but because pDAI's liquidity bonded so heavily to Atropa and Atropa is connected to everything else, everything is just moving in unison. And I'm going to show you again how the unison works in another clear example. So let's go back to BFF that the late. So BFF that the light has really tried to fight this AK mark, but we've ended up having sell-offs, big sell-offs. So yeah, it didn't last. I think maybe Zaki Booz came out with a few tweets here. So whenever there's a bottom, Zaki Booz musters the boys and we get a big pump. So we've finally broken the 8K mark. Now, what's the plan? The plan always was. So I'm showing this to the US dollar because obviously we're looking at the US dollar. So now we're over, it's in the 9,000 mark. So the plan always was once we get to this point to start creating more liquidity. So here, what do we have? Let's go over this again very clearly so everyone's on the same page and understanding. 777 supply. There's 777 total supply. So what have we got here? BFF, that the light, 777 total supply. This is Maria's wallet, 25%. Maria owns 199.8 BFF. The next wallet holds 58. The one below that, 45. Now, this top liquidity pool, so these are contracts, they're liquidity pools. So that is that's 28 BFF in this liquidity pool. And let's have a look what's in here. Now, I asked Martin, the guy who made this website, because this is an awesome website. If you want to get liquidity pools straight up, all the data, awesome, but there's no percentages. So I asked him if he's planning on putting percentages. So the top holder is immunity. So it should be immunity here. So now I go to tokens, immunity. So Helsinki immunity. So quite strange why Finvestor is at the top here. And yeah, can't say why that, only because of liquidity. So this is on the liquidity. If it's on the token amount, then immunity's here at the top, but not in the USD amount. So if you want to look at this, so then this, here we go. What have we got? 26. So that's going to be Finvestor. What's the next one? 12.7. That's going to be no nukes, or it could be the United States Secretary of Defense. There might have been a little bit of movement because this is always a little bit slow. 12.17, 12.17. Oh, so they're both very much in unison. So they'll be moving. They're moving, yeah, because there's the similar percentage. They're going to keep moving up and down together. So you can see here 12.2, 12.2, and here they're both 12.1, 12.1. So as the ratio between the tokens is staying the same, it's locked in a liquidity pool, 50-50. And then as the tokens are swapped in and out, or as the price of BFF moves up and down, then it's going to alter the amount of tokens in here because the ratio of this to this is going to remain a constant. So this is how liquidity pools work. You've got token A multiplied by token B equals the constant. That's the formula for a liquidity pool. So that's always going to happen. So this multiplied by this is going to be the constant. This multiplied by this is going to be the constant. So therefore, as BFF moves up and down, because these are basically the same percentage pools, 1.57% of the BFF supply, they're going to move up and down together. Unless there's a lot of trading that happens within these specific pools, which I imagine there probably isn't a lot of trading happening within those specific pools. So now let's go back to this. So 777, we have, these are the liquidity pools. So, there's really not a lot in liquidity because 25% of it is held by Maria and another 12% is held by, well, really the top 5 wallets, the top 5 wallets hold 25%. 12%, 15%. Okay, so the top five wallets basically hold 45 to 50% of the supply of BFF. So what does this mean? What this means is those guys, yeah, they could come along and they could just dump the price because there's this much BFF that they're late in liquidity at the moment. So these are the thickest pools. So they could sell. So Maria, for example, could tank the price by selling. He's got 199.8. He could tank the price by selling 199 into this immunity pool. For example, the slippage would totally destroy him and the price impact would totally destroy the BFF price because there's not 199 tokens in here. So the way that you would actually go about doing that swap would be like little bit by little bit. So maybe like one at a time or half a BFF at a time. But we know Maria's not going to do this because the plan has always been, let's get to 8K first. Let's minimize the amount of tokens in liquidity, and then let's get to 8K. Once we're in liquidity, so at the moment, let's say how much, let's just look at the top pools because the rest is all just like very, very tiny. So let's look at the top. So we got 28, 26. So that's just over 50. There's another 25, 75. Then we got, so let's say this is about 100 here. 110, 120, 100, let's say about 130. 130 is in liquidity. So we have 177, 777, and about 130 tokens are in liquidity. So as we've got to this 8K mark now, Maria has started to create liquidity pools with it. So let's have a look. What are some of the liquidity pools that Maria's done so far? So first, so sticking to the plan, this is the beauty. The dev is doing what the dev said the dev was going to do. So the people who are worried about PUSDT, perhaps this is part of the plan to get PUSDT closer. It's such a small percent of the PUSDT supply. I don't think it's going to have a huge impact. But again, the more of this PUSDT that goes into liquidity and the more that someone like Maria holds it, the better, because Maria wants all these to be $1, the Holy Trinity P stable. So one BFF was paired with PUSDT, 2 million. One BFF with 16 First Mutual Bond. One BFF with this one. And then also Maria then did Teddy Bear as well. And then this one. And then this one as well. And yep, this one as well. So Maria's been making moves. So one BFF, almost one BFF, almost one BFF, almost one BFF, almost one BFF. All right, nice. So Maria's really playing with the percentages here, 11.11% of this token. So already there. So what's this? So now Maria's put some of this. How much have we got here? 1, 2, 3. Let's say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just under 8 tokens now have been put into LP. Now he's asking, does anyone have any suggestions? So what about affection? So anyone who's got 1.2 million affection can get one BFF, and then that's going to go in liquidity. Now, with 777, and with the potential sell pressure with 130 in liquidity, so about, if someone comes along and really sells, so okay, let's make this very simple. So if there's so let's do 777 minus 130. This means of this, there's this is just approximates in liquidity, like liquid, and then this is in liquidity pools. So in order for this to really stay strong here, what we really want for this price to stay at 8K is for this number to be reversed, really. So we want basically more in liquidity than there is liquid, because that's removing sell pressure. Now, it's not removing sell pressure forever. So let's just say we want to swap this around. So we want to have 647 and then 130. So that means when a scenario like this happens, of the total 777, when a scenario like this happens, there's only 130 to sell and the rest are in liquidity. Now, this is where burnt liquidity comes into it. This is where the idea of burnt liquidity. So when burnt liquidity, basically these contract addresses, let's say this top one here, immunity. So I don't know who created, I imagine Maria created this one. So burnt liquidity would be Maria sends this contract address. So this creates a PLP. When you create a liquidity pool, it mints a PLP token, and that's this pool address. So then sending this token to a debt address. So he sends a lot to Annabelle the Prophet. He might send it to the debt address. And then, so what does that mean? In that case, then 28 of the BFF, if he did this, 28 of the BFF supply is removed forever from buyer pressure. That means here there'll be 28. There'll be this is how it creates a floor, because now that's removed from buyer pressure. It just creates sell pressure. So this is where, we've heard some crazy numbers, and I'm not going to get into the speculation of the crazy numbers, but we have heard things like a million a BFF. So this is what Maria has said. How much Maria actually, I don't know how much I believe some of these numbers. So, we have heard things like 40K is the next target. So 40K is the next target. I might start putting these up here actually. 40K is the next target. And then the target after that is a million. So one. It's up here. So yeah, at the minute, we've got 777 supply. We have this much liquid and this much in liquidity pools. So now Maria's starting to convert his liquid supply. So if he ends up converting his total liquid supply, we'll end up having, what have we got? So I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. So minus 200. And I don't think he's going to do this. And whether he does or not, I have no idea. So then there's going to be 447 liquid and 230 in liquidity pools. I don't think he's going to do this, because I think he's going to want to try and continue to strengthen this progressionally towards this $1 million mark. So as he does this, I think it's not outside of the realm of possibilities. That's the thing. But the value of it is still just an illusion. There's not going to be that much liquidity in all these combined pools to actually create that kind of a value for everyone to sell out of, in the same way that happened with Hex. So this kind of thing can just be something where you just hold it forever, and you have this token forever, and you just sell out in bits and pieces, and you just become one of the bestie freedom fighters. That's the thing. That's the beauty of this. So Maria now is offering one BFF for 1.2 million affections. So that's the plan. It's holding up. That's a lovely looking line, isn't it? Nice and fluid. It's holding up. We're getting there. Now, again, with the liquidity bonding, TSFI TRSI. Look at this, man. Look at this. So this is to the US dollar. But again, I just want to show, again, these clear examples of the liquidity bonding and how it works. As of the 11th of September, RIP. Look how in sync these are. Down, down, up, up, little down, little down, little up, little up, little down, little down, little up, tiny down, bit of a down, bit of an up, down, big down, big down, big up, big down, big up, big up, big down, big up. Close your eyes. But I want to show this for the contrast. I still love the blue. I miss the blue, but I'm getting a lot of people who like the black. So RIP to the blue. But look at this. So this is the pulse chain now. Can you tell these charts apart? Are they the same chart? What? It's phenomenal. So now if you have a look at the liquidity setup, so that's BFF. Let's close this now. So TSFI has 188, two total liquidity pools found. So this is a little bit wacky. 317 here. It's saying a lot less than 317. So we don't know exactly what it is, whether it's 202 or 188. So it's not fully 100% accurate. Let's close this as well. But in any case, we can see here for TSFI, where's TRSI in its... So TRSI, it's got a V1 and a V2, but it's all the way down here. So it's outside of the top 10. But for TRSI, it has TSFI as its third biggest liquidity pool. So that means it's going to move the most with this token, with this token, and with this token. That's why when you're looking at the value of these, that's why when you're looking at the price charts of these, because they're so heavily bonded, they're moving this. This is essentially moving with this. But this is also moving with the rest of the Atropa ecosystem, and so is this. And because you have all these tokens that are bonded, so this is like, what have we got here for TRSI is 170 liquidity pools. So it's not showing all 170 here. It's only just showing a very small sample size. I don't know why it's not showing the full 170, but in any case, so this is TRSI, but I hope you really started to get an idea of how this liquidity bonding works. Then what I see, the magic source between, we've got Atropa here. We've got Atropa here. Therefore, when the Atropa to TSFI starts to move, then the TSFI to TRSI will move. So then there's an arbitrage opportunity between those two, but then becomes an arbitrage opportunity between TRSI and Atropa, and then TSFI and Atropa. So it's creating all these interconnected arbitrage opportunities in this web. So what have we got here? We've got, I definitely saw down. Oh, right. I didn't see down. So we got zoo. So we got zoo here. I definitely saw this one. So here, this is second. And if we look here, I'm pretty sure, yep. Well, there's two here. So it's got then it had zoo as well. What have we got here? So host, let's see if this has got a host. All right, no host. This one here, I'm pretty sure I just saw this one as well on the top. No, different one. But let's see if it's in there. No, it's in there. And then this is what other people would have made, but you got teddy bear as well. Let's see, our teddy bear's right there. So there's all these interconnections of liquidity pools. So remember I was showing in my video here about the liquidity web and how this is dragging the whole thing up. It's not just about the weight of the bonding. I mean, yeah, it is and it isn't, but it's also about all these interconnected tokens as well. That's creating the arbitrage, which is bringing in value into these pools, into all of these interconnected pools. So that's really the magic. That's part of the magic source of this system. So yeah, man, we're getting there. This is it feels like now, we're in the third bull market for the Atropa ecosystem, pDAI. It's looking like it's probably going to break the 1 cent mark. 2, BFF has hit past the 8K mark. So we're really now entering this third bull market phase. So things are really starting to heat up. Things are really starting to get exciting. So also, if you haven't, I've recorded but haven't released the videos yet. Lao tokens. I've got a Lao token video. It's probably more convoluted. It doesn't need to be that difficult anymore. That process is a lot easier now. So basically, I've created a video. You can just create a Lao token within 5 minutes. But I'm going to keep showing these things. And again, please keep in mind, I'm also still learning about these things. So even though I'm saying, oh, the interconnection here is creating this arbitrage, it looks like that's what it's doing. And based on how I'm observing it, based on how I understand it and how I'm observing it with my LAU token, yeah, this is actually what's happening. So now it's dragging up my LAU token with the heaviest pool, but also now the heaviest pool is dragging up all the other pools, and then it's creating all these arbitrage opportunities that's occurring between all the other different LAU tokens and all the pools that it's connected with. So there's a lot of things happening, and I would strongly recommend, if you're in the Atropa ecosystem, yeah, buy and hold, do your buy and hold. But if you want to take it to the next level, liquidity webs is the next level, because again, I really think the liquidity webs is going to be something where, yeah, if you're doing cryptocurrency without liquidity webs, without arbitrage, without this kind of technology, without this kind of system, you're going to get left behind. You're going to get left with all the pump and dump Solana crap, and people are going to get sick and tired of that. People are already getting sick and tired of that. I think something like this is going to be the real meta for the next bull market. It's two ahead. it's too ahead of the ball. It's too ahead of the market at the moment. Just like everything that seems to revolve around Richard Hart, always one step ahead. And he's attracting people who are like also one step ahead of the game. So Maria is like this mega alpha genius that's created this ecosystem, this idea of math and wave arbitrage waves. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful system. And it's such a blessing and an honor to be talking about it and to be even knowing anything about it. So yeah, BFF, that the light, pDAI to 1 cent, Atropa to the moon. Let's go.